Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jordan and welcome to the start of a very casual reading vlog where I am going to be reading 2 Ballerina books. I really have no rhyme, reason, or purpose for making this video other than the fact that I already own both of these books. They both happen to be about ballerinas, so I figured why not throw them together into a reading vlog, read them at the same time, and I guess give my thoughts or compare the 2 books as ballerina books. So that's what we're doing. The 2 books in question are The Turnout by Megan Abbott. This is a thriller, I believe. I haven't heard a ton other than mediocre to bad ratings about it, so my expectations are tempered a little, but I still feel like I'm really gonna like the ballet element in a thriller. I particularly enjoy thrillers that have something different in them, if it's a different setting or a character who's particularly interested in like a certain hobby or something that's just different from every other plain white protagonist. So if we have this dancer personality, this dance studio potential setting, I think it'll at least make for something different than I've read before, and I am down for that. And then the second book that I'll be reading is The Ballerinas by Rachel Kapelke-Dale. I believe this one is a little bit more of a general fiction, kind of just literary fiction type book. There may be some kind of mystery element or something, but I'm expecting this one to be a lot slower and more relationship based. My friend Gwen just recently read this and she didn't love it, but she did say that she thinks I might, again because of that element of the characters having a really deep passion and that coming through in the story. I really enjoy reading that, so we will see. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started reading these right away. My children and husband are all napping right now, so I have a little bit of time to start reading. I think I'm gonna start with The Turnout since I have higher hopes for The Ballerinas, so hopefully we end on the better one. But yeah, I'm gonna start reading and I'll let you know when I have some thoughts. It is 4th of July weekend right now, so I should hopefully have some fun B-roll and things to share as I do stuff with my family. That's also why you can probably hear fireworks going off in my neighborhood, even though it's 1:30 p.m. on the 3rd. I don't know, I apologize if you can hear that popping noise, but I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna start reading and I will let you know when I have an update on the first book and what my thoughts are.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. All
right, hey friends, I'm in the same spot, but time has passed. It is the next day. It's 4th of July today. It has been raining all morning actually. It's about 1 p.m. now and it's finally cleared up. So this afternoon we're gonna go over to a neighbor's house for like a barbecue hangout type situation. But for now the kids are napping, so I'm gonna let them sleep first. And I wanted to just do a really quick check-in because I am 88 pages into The Turnout and I'm a little confused. Definitely not confused at what's happening. It's very straightforward. I'm just confused because I was pretty sure this was a mystery thriller and nothing mysterious or thrilling has really happened. We are following these 2 sisters named Dara and Marie. They grew up dancers. Their parents actually owned a dance studio, and when they passed away the sisters have inherited it, so they are now the owners and the teachers at this dance studio, ballet studio I guess specifically. I'm pretty sure it's only ballet, and they do that with Dara's husband named Charlie, who has been with the family for many years. So it's basically just about them kind of operating this business of the dance studio, and something happens towards the beginning of this book that I guess is supposed to be like the inciting incident for the book. And had it been written differently, I think it could have been more mysterious and like, was this done on purpose or was this sabotage towards the studio, or like what's the motive behind it? But the way it was told was just very matter of fact, like this happened and they're dealing with it, and more about again how they're managing the studio and like making decisions to go on from that point. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep reading it because it reads actually really quickly. The paragraphs on the pages, not sure if it's very easy to see, but there are a lot of like gaps in the writing on the page that makes it very fast to read. So I'm enjoying the reading experience. I like the story well enough. Like, I am interested in the business of running a dance studio. I think that's interesting to read about. I'm just very unsure if I'm supposed to be feeling like tension and suspense, because I'm not. I'm just feeling like I'm reading about what's happening, more like a literary story than a thriller. So that's the situation. I'm gonna get back to reading this while my kids are sleeping. Not sure how far I'll get, because once they wake up, again, we'll be going out. But once I get further in and I have any more insight onto whether this is actually a mystery thriller or just like a serious literary type book, I will let you know, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking about it at that point.
We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
All right, another day, another update. I am still reading the Turnout. It's taken several days, a few days longer than I was expecting. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm on page 221. I just reached part 3, I assume, out of 3 parts, but I don't know. I just got to what I assume is a plot twist or the plot twist, or I don't know, at the end of part 2. I am just not thrilled by this book, and I think it's the characters. They do not act like normal humans act, I don't think. They're very like weird around each other, even though they've grown up around each other their entire lives and they're all that each other has. You would think that they'd be so close and trusting and able to talk to each other, especially because they're in business together, and their business is also like, it's made clear that they're very direct with the dancers when they're instructing them and whatnot, because ballet seems to be a very like strict dance style, obviously, from what I hear. So if these people can be so direct and straightforward with the dancers, why can't they be straightforward with each other? Again, especially because they're family. So it's just weird. It's also very sexual. Like, we're reading about the one sister who isn't married is having this relationship with a guy that the other sister doesn't really approve of. But that is just such a low stakes situation, because like, who cares? She's an adult, she can make her own decisions, right? I don't know, that seems like a common thing that isn't a driver to such extreme ends as this book goes, and doesn't have to be as dramatic as this book is making it. So very weird book, very weird vibe. I'm gonna keep reading to see what happens. The next time I update will be when I finish the book. I'm hoping I have better news, but the way this is going, I am not expecting a glowing review at the end of this, but we'll see. It is 7:15 a.m. right now. I am down in my home office and I have about 15 minutes before I normally start working, so I'm going to go ahead and read for 15 minutes and then I will work, and then I'll probably try to read a little bit like through my lunch break and whatever, and try to finish it today. Shouldn't be hard because it is a quick read and I don't have that much left. So I'll be back when I finish the book and I have an update. Also, side note, how cute, I'm gonna have to, hold on. How cute is this sweatshirt that I just got in the mail yesterday? It's a Cornelia Street Cafe sweatshirt, so it's Taylor Swift themed, and I think it is so fun. It's not like official merch or anything. I got it off of a store on Instagram, and let me find what the actual store is so that I can mention it and link it. It's called The Common Room, and on Instagram they are The Common Room Shop. So I will definitely link them. They have a whole bunch of merch. It's mostly like pop culture, not bookish. So like Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, Stranger Things kind of fan merch. I will link it because I am in love with this sweatshirt. But anyway, I'll be back when I finish, I'll be back when I finish this book and have an update, and then we can get on to the second book of this video.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
All right, it's later. I finished the Turnout and I absolutely hated it. I am so confused at this book's marketing and its target audience. I would not consider it a mystery or a thriller. I would consider it a very dark, melancholy kind of contemporary book with a lot of character dynamics between adults that are very immature, have a lot of like past unresolved trauma, and a story that's kind of plotless. I mean, there is a plot, but there's not like an objective. I don't know. I feel very weird after reading this book. I feel a little like icky because there were a lot of, I think I mentioned in my last clip that it's very sexual, and I never really, I think I got off onto a tangent, and that continued and was weird and made me feel weird about all of these characters and the fact that they're operating a ballet studio. And luckily there was really nothing about like the children at the studio. I'm glad that for the most part they weren't tangled up in all of these people's drama and weird thoughts and feelings and tendencies. I don't know. I'm kind of waffling between whether I should give this 1 star or 2 stars. For my personal enjoyment, it is a 1-star book. It had tropes in it that I absolutely hate. I was not entertained while reading it at all. I did not see the point of the book by the end of it. The only reason I might give it a 2 star is because throughout my time in BookTube, I found that there are people who really do lean into the weird. They want the weird, they want the unsettling. So there's a part of me that does think there are people out there who would like it, and usually I give 2 stars to books that I did not enjoy, but that I might recommend to someone specific. I don't know if I can give this one 2 though. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read some reviews, see what other people are saying about this book. After I read the second book, I can tell you where I landed with this one, because I think I'm just gonna have to think about it for a while. But overall, the thoughts are that I did not enjoy it even a little bit. And the dancing content in here was so minimal that they could have run any kind of business and it would have been applicable, which I guess is fine. But because I was so excited to read a thriller about dancers, I was let down by that not being a very big part of the plot. So very weird one. Gonna move on to the next one. I think that one will be better for me because I think it follows actual dancers, which I'm excited to read about, not adults running a dance studio. And then I know that that one is a contemporary, so I'm not expecting it to be any kind of mystery or thriller. I do think it is a little more serious and hard-hitting still. I'm hoping it's a little bit less like weird and kind of atmospheric and creepy. I don't know, we'll see. My battery's gonna die, so I'm gonna go and charge it and get to reading that book. Hopefully I'll start tonight and finish within the next day or two and be able to give you my thoughts on the second Ballerina book. Good morning, everyone. If I look extremely tired, that's because I am. It's about 6:30 a.m. I'm about to go downstairs and start working. I'm just waiting for my coffee to brew, and I wanted to update on the Ballerinas. I am on page 102, chapter 12. It's going okay. It is, again, very slow. So I'm wondering if the pace is somewhat indicative of ballerinas in general. Like, I would imagine they have to be pretty patient individuals, right? To be so disciplined, to practice so much. I don't really know anything about ballet, clearly. That's just what I'm using to justify the 2 slower books that I've been reading, is me saying, well, maybe that's just how ballerinas are, is they're slower paced. You gotta be patient for the payoff. So I'm being patient for the payoff. My friend Gwen read this book and she said the second half of the story is more interesting than the first. So I'm holding out hope that something is gonna happen to propel the plot forward. A little bit more about the plot of this story is we are following a group of dancers, mostly a group of 3 girls, but there are other characters involved. We're following them when they are young, like 17-ish, as they are going through ballet school. They've pretty much dedicated their lives to that point to dance, and they're hoping to become, you know, stars one day. And then we're also following them like almost 20 years later as full-grown adults, and some of them are in very different positions. Like one is a choreographer now. The 2 other girls are still dancing, and then like other people in their lives are doing different things. At this point, I'm more interested in the past timeline. I just find it more interesting, the setting of them being at the school and like working really hard towards something. I wish there was more content about like their schedule and the things they're learning and like inside their heads of wanting to become star dancers. There's a lot more interpersonal drama and then just being teenagers and like losing their virginity, going to parties and things like that, which is less interesting to me. But I understand it. Obviously, they are young adults, so that would be a major part of their lives at that point. The stakes feel a little low, knowing where all of them kind of end up in 20 years. So I'm just interested to find out what happens. Like, what's going to drive this story? What is going to cause the conflict? In the present day timeline, one of our characters has to give another character some bad news. So I wonder if that's going to kind of instigate something, make some action happen. I don't know. We'll see. I have about 200 pages left, so I will keep working through it and I will let you know what I think when I hopefully have a little bit more understanding about the point of the story and when some action has happened.
I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright.
Alright, my bed is messy. I should make that. Be right back.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain.
Okay, I think that's better. I am here to wrap up because last night I just finished the Ballerinas, and this book I have a lot of thoughts about. This is much more than meets the eye, or at least it became much more to me by the end. This is a super slow burn of a book. I think I was saying in the first half, like I wasn't really into it, like it was really slow, very character driven, and that's true. That lasted throughout the entire book, but by the end it does change and has much more of a message. And I really enjoyed the commentary in here about body autonomy and how women never really have ownership over their own bodies, whether it's in a dance context or it's in a pregnancy context. And this even goes into, should women have the right to get an abortion, which of course is a super relevant conversation right now. I really enjoyed that side of this story, and because the first half was so slow, you really did feel like you spent a lot of time with each of the characters, which I think some people are gonna appreciate and they're gonna feel like it's worth it by the end, and then some people probably won't. The ending of this also gets very action-packed, so I do think that there is a climax in this book that makes the slow first part of it worth it. So overall, I really ended up enjoying it, and I'm gonna give it 4 stars, which honestly, if you would have asked me at the halfway point what is the maximum rating I could give this book, I probably would have said a 3, but the ending was really worth the payoff in my opinion. But again, I don't think it's a book for everyone. I think there are a lot of people who just don't like this slow of a book and this much of a character study. So if you know that about yourself, please take that into consideration before going in and picking up this book. Also, many of the topics in here are sensitive and dark, so I would give trigger warnings for things like addiction, cancer, sexual assault, abortion, and probably other things that I can't think of or remember right now. So I would recommend, if any of those things sound like they might trigger you, look into this book a little bit more before picking it up. But with that, I obviously have a clear winner. I thought this Ballerina book was worth the read. It gave me what I wanted. I did get a lot more of the dancer lifestyle. This one was just not it. So 2 stars, 4 stars. So if you're looking to pick up one Ballerina contemporary, this is the one I think it should be. But that is it for this kind of weird, short, random reading vlog. Thank you for sticking with me if you did this whole time. If you are here at the end, please put the ballerina slippers emoji down in the comments so I know and I can appreciate you. But other than that, I don't have anything else. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.
Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.